All right, guys, so this is going to be how I made 30K in 30 days with a brand new YouTube channel. I'm going to be going over the entire strategy here, and then I'm also going to be talking about some of the key points as well. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So the overall strategy, one of the biggest things is just value-centric content, right? So you just focus on content that gives value. You focus on educational content, you focus on not, entertainment content, but content that where you're actually solving real problems for people and you're offering motivation for them to help them solve their own problems, right? So the focus here is on problem solving, right? Create content aimed at addressing specific issues faced by your target audience, okay? So we're not making content that makes people laugh or, anything like that. I mean, you can add a little bit of comedy to it. That's totally fine, but that's not what you're focused on. You're focused on content that solves problems. It's educational content and it gives value. And the way that you give value is by problem solving. Next thing, straightforward, no nonsense approach. So direct communication, maintain a straightforward and honest tone in your videos. So basically just raw, authentic type content works really well. This is working especially well on YouTube right now. So it may not be working as well 2 years from now, 3 years from now if you're watching this, but right now, raw, authentic content is working extremely well. I think people are a little bit tired of kind of like the Mr. Beast style content where there's just a edit every half second, or AI style content where it's just very fake, very scripted. It's not a real human being talking to them. And so raw, authentic content is working extremely well right now. And the great thing about raw, authentic content is it's super easy to make. You can just write like a quick little bullet point list of things just to remind yourself. You don't have to write out a full script. And you basically just talk about things you're already an expert in. Okay, so it's super good. Then you avoid platitudes, steer clear of overused advice, like follow your passion and focus on practical, actionable insights. So this is something where I have mixed feelings on this. Platitudes are actually good if they're correct, for sure. No matter how silly they are, platitudes can be really good if they're correct. But with that being said, you want to bring some new value to the table. You don't just want to say things that everyone else is saying already. And that brings me to the next point, which is market differentiation. So you want to be setting realistic expectations, right? Present a balanced view that acknowledges the hard work and challenges involved, but at the same time, it isn't negative. So basically, you typically have two different camps. You've got the kind of like the mainstream opinion. Sometimes the mainstream opinion is very negative. Sometimes it's very positive. But then you've got sort of like the counter opinion to the mainstream opinion. And usually if the mainstream opinion is really positive, the counter opinion is very negative. You want to try to find the truth in there, right? Find that gray area between those two things, because the truth is typically somewhere in the middle. It's usually not very negative or very positive. It's somewhere in the middle. And you want to try to find the truth in that and talk about that truth. And another thing you can do is if the mainstream opinion is extremely positive, sometimes it's better for you to be a little bit more negative. And if the mainstream opinion is extremely negative, sometimes it's better for you to be a little bit more positive. So just go against the grain, generally speaking. But finding the true answer is the best way to do it. And then counterbalance trends offer a realistic perspective to counterbalance overly optimistic market narratives. So we kind of already talked about that. Overly optimistic or overly negative market narratives as well. Cycle awareness, stay current, be aware of the fast-changing trends on platforms such as Money Twitter and adapt your content accordingly. So Money Twitter is really unique, honestly, because the trends change so fast. It cycles through trends incredibly fast. Like a trend that might take 2 years on YouTube to do a full cycle, seriously, on Money Twitter, it might be 2 weeks before the cycle's done, right? So, some platforms, the trends last longer than others. YouTube, they kind of do last a little longer, but Twitter, they don't last very long. But the cool thing about Twitter is people forget very quickly as well. So a couple months later, it might go through another cycle like that, and then that messaging works again. Viewer engagement, solve real problems, engage viewers by addressing their genuine needs and providing practical solutions. So yeah, you get on a sales call, you get a bunch of people asking the same questions in your comments. Basically, once you get feedback, you can start adding that into your content, either making entire videos on it or adding it to parts of your videos, right? So sometimes when I'm making, these types of videos, I'll add stuff that people ask in the comment section or people ask on sales calls, etc. Target audience, focus on an audience that has the means and willingness to invest in solutions. So you want to make sure that you're targeting the right audience. You want to target an audience where you can solve real problems for real people that have real money. You don't want to target an audience of people who can't pay for what you're talking about. You want to target people who can actually pay for it. Okay, they have enough money to pay for it. And I've talked about that pretty extensively on the channel. Next is monetization and call to action. So calls to action are very important. So you want to include clear calls to action in every video, directing viewers to book calls, join email lists, or attend webinars. And let's go into this even a little bit further. So monetization and call to action. High ticket offers, aim for high value sales that can significantly boost your revenue. This is my main thing that I recommend. So this could be a coaching program, an agency, some type of service. It could be kind of like a hybrid model. It could be like a growth partner thing. It could be a build and release offer. Anything that's high ticket, okay? Anything that's high ticket is great. This is the easiest way to make money. And I literally did like a study basically where I went through a bunch of different channels that were doing high ticket, medium ticket, low ticket. And then I showed you how much they were making per 1,000 views. And high ticket absolutely dominates per 1,000 views. So I highly recommend, this is the number one thing that I recommend. It's the easiest way to make money because you make like 5 times more per 1,000 views at least than medium ticket. Sometimes it can be up to like 50 times more. Then alternative methods, some other ones that you can consider, either doing with high ticket or on their own. If for whatever reason you don't want to do high ticket, you can make these work as well. Affiliate marketing, sponsorships, or starting a SaaS. Starting a SaaS, of course, can be even more profitable than high ticket, but it's not right for most people. Then content consistency and types. So content types focus on how-tos, listicles, interviews, stories, and reviews. These are the ones that I typically say are the best. Those are the ones that really do a good job of actually selling people. So how-tos and listicles are the ones that most people make, but interviews can be really good. Like there's some podcasts that crush it. And then story or narrative style content where you tell somebody's story can be pretty good. And then reviews. So when you're kind of like reviewing something, that can also be really good for sales. So these are the types of content that actually get sales. You could make a music video where you're rapping about whatever your niche is, but you're probably not going to get any sales from the music video because it's entertainment. But if you're making educational content and making these types of content, you can crush it. Then consistency. Ensure 80% of your content follows a consistent format to build a loyal audience. So let's say you choose how-tos. You want 80% of your content to be how-tos. Let's say you choose interviews. You want 80% of your content to be interviews. And the reason for that is because you want people to come to expect a particular format. The analogy that I like to use for this is, my 2 favorite shows are The Office and Breaking Bad. But if I click on The Office and Breaking Bad pops up, I'm not going to be happy because the expectation was not met by the reality of the situation. I was expecting a comedy and I got a gritty drama. I was expecting a dry comedy. I got a gritty drama. Wasn't in the mood for a gritty drama, right? I was in the mood for a dry comedy. So make sure that you are giving the people what they expect by having consistency in your content. How-tos, listicles, interviews, whatever it is. Have some consistency. Now, once in a while, you can change it up a little bit. It's totally fine. But 80% of the time, you should have the same type of content. Then you got optimization techniques, keyword research. Use tools like vidIQ to find and target the right keywords. Another really good one is Keywords Everywhere. That's another good tool. So, here's Keywords Everywhere. I use that. And then I also use vidIQ. Congruence. Ensure your thumbnail, title, and intro are aligned and visually congruent. Okay, this is a big mistake that I see people making a lot. And that is, the video will be very positive and upbeat, but the thumbnail and title are very negative. Or sometimes even the thumbnail is very negative, but the title is very positive, right? You need those 3 things to be congruent. You need to make sure your thumbnail, title, and intro are congruent, okay? because if they're not, it just gives off a bad feeling, and people aren't going to click on your video. And even if they do click on the video, they're going to be confused and they're going to click off. Okay, so make sure those three things are congruent. If you have kind of a negative spin on the thumbnail, you need to have a little bit of a negative spin on the title and a little bit of a negative spin, or at least addressing the negative spin in the intro. Okay, you need to at least address it. Then attractive titles, craft titles that are both keyword rich and appealing to attract more clicks. So those are some of the best techniques to use. Now let's go ahead and talk about content strategy creation. So audience targeting. Okay, you want to focus on, these are some of the key points, right? Obviously, I'm not going over everything, but I'm going over some of the most important stuff. So audience targeting, you obviously want to identify your audience. You want to focus on a specific audience, such as business owners or professionals who have the means and interest in your content, okay? So typically you want to, again, make sure you're selling to people who can actually buy stuff. Then you want to solve real problems. Create content that addresses the specific needs and pain points of your target audience. Remember, in entrepreneurship, we are solving problems. That is something that I've seen even experienced entrepreneurs forget. You're not trying to like make something a little bit better. You're trying to solve a problem. Content types, how-to videos, really good. Love these. Listicles, really good as well. Listicles are probably my favorite personally, but how-tos are right up there as well. And these two actually go really well together. You can honestly even do both of them at the same time on a channel and you'll probably be okay. Then interviews and podcasts, these are excellent as well. Story and narrative videos. Share personal stories or case studies to engage and inspire your audience. So like talking about someone else's success. The channel Film Booth does a really good job of this. He's a great example of story/narrative videos. Reviews, offer detailed reviews of products, services, or tools that are related to your niche. These can be really good as well. Or reviews of a course. You know, you could like review Iman Gadzhi's course or Andrew Tate's course or whatever. Content consistency. So content balance, ensure that 80% of your content sticks to your main content type, and then regular posting. Make sure you're posting 1 to 3 videos per week to maintain audience engagement and growth. Then SEO and optimization, keyword research, use tools like vidIQ to identify and target relevant keywords for your content. Title, thumbnail, and intro congruence. Ensure that your video's title, thumbnail, and introduction are aligned and visually consistent to enhance click-through rates. And then attractive titles. Craft compelling and descriptive titles that incorporate keywords naturally without sacrificing appeal. Okay, so attractive titles, also attractive thumbnails. Make sure you're nailing those. I actually have several videos on that. So you can definitely check out my channel. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to check out all the awesome free content that I've made. Then video structure and quality. So engaging thumbnails, design eye-catching thumbnails that reflect the video content and attract viewers. So this is something that it's an art and it's a science at the same time. It's something where you can actually break the rules sometimes, because you guys probably notice my thumbnails are very simple on this channel. If you're making raw, authentic content, it doesn't really matter much. Like your thumbnails can be super simple and it doesn't matter much. So you can break the rules in some cases, and that's what I do on this channel. But if you look at my main channel, the channel that's got over 800,000 subs, you know, the thumbnails are pretty advanced. And typically, if you're advertising to a sophisticated or B2B audience, you can do basic thumbnails. But if you're advertising to more of a mass market audience or unsophisticated audience, you probably want to do the fancier thumbnails that are very eye-catching, like Mr. Beast style with his mouth open kind of thing. Clear and concise intros. Start with a strong hook in the first few seconds to captivate your audience and clearly outline what the video will cover. Okay, outline the value proposition of the video. Okay, start with a strong hook and then outline the value proposition of the video and then just get into it. Just get into it very quickly. Okay, get into the meat of the content. High value content. Ensure that your videos provide substantial value, solving specific problems or offering actionable insights. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Kind of just diving a little deeper on some of the stuff we mentioned before. Calls to action, direct to call or webinar. Then you've got email list and promotion. So the direct to call or webinar, you can even just do like a Calendly link. I think I'm actually using a Calendly link right now. Again, you can check that in the description in the pinned comment below. Book a call with me, see if, if you want to actually get clients from YouTube and make a ton of money from YouTube, you can book a call with me. But yeah, direct a call or webinar. So encourage viewers to take immediate action, such as booking a call or signing up for a webinar. Yeah, Calendly link is good. VSL is good. Calendly link probably only works on YouTube, but VSL is probably going to be better for most of you. But keep the VSL simple at first. Don't make it too complicated. I've talked about how to do that in other videos. Email list promotion, always a good idea to get people on your email list. Never a bad idea. And consistent CTAs. Include a call to action in every video to guide your audience towards further engagement or conversion. Try to include it naturally, kind of like I did in this video when I talked about clicking the link down in the description in the pinned comment below to book a call with me. Try to do it naturally. Just put it in a spot that actually makes sense. But yeah, try to include calls to action in every video, sometimes even several. And then monetization strategies, just diving a little bit deeper into this. High ticket offers, really, really good stuff. This is what I recommend. Obviously, coaching and agency are the two most well-known ones, but there's a lot more. Then alternative methods, affiliate marketing, sponsorships, creating a SaaS. And those are really good. And then ongoing engagement. You can actually foster a community through consistent, valuable content that encourages repeat views and long-term engagement. And you can actually funnel them into a different community. And then you can learn to monetize that community. So that could be like a Facebook group or a school group or a Discord community, etc. And then expertise and positioning. Minimal scripting. If you're an expert, speak naturally with minimal scripting to convey authenticity and authority. If you're not an expert, which by the way, 95% of you are an expert at something, okay? I work with a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't think I'm an expert on something. I worked with this guy. This was hilarious. This was actually hilarious. I worked with this guy and he's like, oh, I don't think I'm an expert on anything. And then I find out he runs a business where he's making over $1 million a year. And he said he wasn't an expert on anything. That's how silly people are sometimes. But for the 5% of you that actually aren't an expert, position yourself as a learner. Okay, position yourself as a learner, share your journey, and this can resonate really well with an audience on a similar path or people that you're just a few steps ahead of, and they'll end up buying from you, right? So yeah, this is how it's done, guys. This is the content creation strategy key points and the overall strategy. And this is how I made 30K in 30 days with a brand new YouTube channel. I did all of these things. And I just did it consistently. And I basically just posted consistently, right? Now, I did do a 30-day challenge. That was kind of a way to kickstart the channel. And I am going to try to get this channel to 100K per month in 180 days. So that's going to be about 6 months, right? 100K per month in 6 months. That's my goal for this channel. Follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, stay engaged. We'll see what happens, right? Maybe I make it, maybe I don't. If not, whatever it is, I'll keep you updated, and I think we'll all learn something from it.